Hello YouTube, welcome back to another Let's Play video. In this video, we'll be playing The Binding of Isaac Repentance. I figured I want to get a start on file number 3 and start aiming for infinity %. Now, if you do happen to enjoy what you see here, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all that fun jazz. Considering we just finished out the Inscryption playthrough, which was the last YouTube exclusive series I did, I figured we can get a start on something new. This Let's Play, like I said, we're going to be playing Repentance, but we're going to start file number 3 and working our way towards the infinity %, because I already got Dead God on my live stream on Twitch. Without further ado, let's hop into this first run of the game and start heading into it. Now, I know I could do some challenges and other things first, but, let's just start with a basic hard mode Isaac playthrough. It has been a while since I've played this game from the very beginning. It kind of feels weird, playing an Isaac playthrough or playing as Isaac and not starting with the D6. But I know you unlock that through other, methods. I don't quite remember the exact method of unlocking it, but I do know that it is slightly different. Oh god, I forgot the shop start off really, really, bad. Like I said, it has been a long time since I've done a basic, first playthrough of the game. The last time I did it from the beginning was when Repentance first came out. I wanted to start a new save file to kind of, dig my heels in and, learn Repentance from the bottom, bottom up. Besides that, I really haven't had much chance to really enjoy the game like that. Now, I don't remember exactly how the game works, like how you unlocks work for the game, because it has been a while since I've last truly sat down and played the game. God, I hate these flies so much. Some of the most unpredictable enemies, while somehow managing being the most predictable at the same time. They're not necessarily difficult enemies, they're just annoying to deal with. Kind of like the, they're better than the spiders, but spiders can be just wildly unpredictable. They're so erratic in their movements. Let's see what our first item room has. A little Loki. I know right now there's not a lot. I don't have a lot unlocked yet. And the only way to really, get things unlocked is just to, play the game. Not a good start. I know to get small rock, I gotta bomb 100 tinted rocks. I know there's a few achievements I have to do, right? I have to get speedrun achievement, and I also have to get, like I said, there's just a lot of little achievements that I don't necessarily often think about when playing the game. Normally. I will use this to get some of the stuff in this room. Only because Flat Penny is going to be amazing later on, having a ton of keys. Oh god. Well, there really wasn't much I could do in that. This is honestly one of the toughest rooms to get Larry Jr. in. Just the way it's set up makes it really difficult to fight him. It's a super cramped space. Now granted, you can, shoot the poops to give yourself more space to work with, but more often than not, you don't have a lot of room to work with. I do have to do, I think it's 2 floors without taking damage for one of the characters. I was really hoping I could get that pretty quickly, but Again, not really the end of the world. Just gonna kind of play the game, because I know it's, you know, there's a lot of little things you gotta do to really get the game moving. I know the first couple of playthroughs are gonna be pretty quick, only because, you know, you have to, like, fight certain bosses. I think it's like Mom's Foot, you gotta fight like 10 times. Mom's, and then Mom's Heart, you gotta fight that 10 times to get the, you know, to unlock the next area after that. It's, like I said, it's a lot. And you can technically kind of start skipping past some parts of it by fighting. If you get lucky with Mom's Heart and you get an Angel Room on that floor, or a Devil Deal, you can actually skip, you know, having to fight. Not skip having to fight it 10 times, but you can unlock the Polaroid or the negative early. Which, that's a super, like, useful thing to remember, right? Yeah, Little Loki isn't the greatest item to have starting off because, yeah, I mean, it's good DPS early game, but it's definitely not the greatest defensive or offensive item out there. There's a fly IRL that keeps, like, landing on me. I would like to get my item room, preferably. Kind of want to skip Devil Deals and go Angels, because the Angel Room pool being so limited, there's probably decent items in it, but same could be said for Devil Deals. I just do not remember, like, at all any of the starting items. Lead pencil, I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good item. Might not necessarily be my favorite item, but it is a good item. I was really... I don't know. I was gonna say I was really hoping for something, but I don't know what I was hoping for. I really want Black Tooth, but Flat Penny, like I said, having the chance to get extra keys is just too good to pass up on. Hit up my shop, hope for something decent out of it. I mean, I also need to start donating to my donation machine. Because, yeah, we're in a position where I need to focus on it because of I need to get it back up to 999 to finish this, you know, unlock. Honestly, with my DPS being pretty basic, Magician's not amazing to hold on to. So, I'm fine holding on to the Empress. In fact, I can see what this card is. So yeah, I can use the Empress in this fight and hold on to death for the next floor. Duke of Flies. I would have much preferred you on the last floor, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Monstro's Tooth. I could have sworn Monstro's Tooth was unlocked the first time you beat Monstro. What? I also unlocked Lazarus. I'm assuming because of all those soul hearts. Yeah, I'd have to look. I'll look into that later. It's one of those things like, I don't know. I haven't looked into Monstro's Tooth as a item, so I don't know how you actually unlock it. All right, we're gonna skip the first Devil Deal. I'm gonna play it like I normally play it. You know, worst case scenario, it doesn't really do me any good. Best case scenario, it does me a lot of good. You never know. And then Nah, I'm being lazy. I was gonna use the boomerang to collect it all, but it would take way too long. And I have plenty of bombs, so I'm not like super concerned about it. Wait, again, there's like just this is one of those rooms that I'd rather avoid if I can. It's not difficult. It's annoying if anything else, right? Like easy to beat, but frustrating because it'll take a while and you gotta be super careful to dodge all the enemies super carefully. It's just not my favorite room to run through on any game mode. Nice. Oop, I completely missed that shot. Just a regular chest in there, not a big deal. Ooh, man. It's one scary room to go through when I'm doing my damnedest to not take damage. Alright, most of these enemies have at least gotten their like main first stage destroyed, so I don't have to worry about them sneaking any damage onto me. I am actually kind of surprised that the other way was the right path to get to my treasure room and shop. This also means this is most likely where my secret room is, just based on the layout of the room. And it was. Now, for anyone wanting to like know the secret to finding a secret room, it's got to be connected to one or more rooms. And typically, if there's a room that has just an odd shape, it's most likely going to be in this room. Like, for example, this room. It's got this like really odd shape, and it's connected to two other rooms that has an open spot where the door could be. So right here is cleared, and right here is cleared. So there's a high likelihood of the secret room being there. There's a gap in between the wall and that, you know, in between the wall and the main pathway, meaning it's not likely to be there, or it's impossible for it to be there. Ooh, these tumor enemies are always fun to deal with. But they're a lot easier than the Psi tumors, which is just the other variation of them. This is Adrenaline, if I remember correctly, which is every time, like every red heart you have that's empty, you get a slight, you know, damage and I believe speed up as well. Champion's Belt wouldn't be bad to have, but I don't necessarily need it. Again, my DPS is fairly low. The Little Loki providing an extra 3.5 damage, I believe, is what it provides. And the Lead Pencil allowing me to shoot bursts of tears is really what's carrying me. Boomerang's helping with, like, stunning enemies and making sure I don't have to, like, really worry about them too much. Peeper's not my least favorite boss. Like, could be worse. Could be the other variation, which is the Bloat, which is a much, much harder boss fight. Yeah, I don't remember what exactly the damage for the Boomerang is, but I do know it deals some pretty decent damage. And the fact that it can freeze the enemies is also a huge bonus. Yeah. The hardest thing about the Peeper is like being able to read his attacks and while keeping an eye on his eyeballs and dealing damage to him. But other than that, he's actually a fairly simple, fairly easy boss. Luck down, luck effects. Now, the luck stat affects basically just room drops. Like if you're going, it's like the likelihood of getting a room drops, and there's certain items that are affected by luck. For example, you know, tooth shot or tough love. It, you know, depending on how high your luck stat is like how often you'll shoot out a tooth. So you more often than not want your luck stat to be pretty high. Some cases you could argue you want it to be lower is if you have, for example, Fire Mind, but you don't have any type of bomb immunity. Because Fire Mind has a chance to explode based on luck, and most people, you know, don't want it to explode in their face and deal damage to them. Monster Perfume, really good item. One of the, like, it talks about, it says it has a tears up, but it's one of those, like, hidden stats where it can break the soft cap tears, which is 5. You're max out at, like, 5 tears, which I believe is, like, 5 tears a second or something along those lines. I don't know the exact, like, what it exactly equals, but I believe it's something along the lines of 5 tears a second is what it actually means. Man, some of these rooms are just really brutal and unfair. But it is one of those items that can technically break the soft cap. Because the original term for it was like, it's a tier delay down and not a tier stat up. Meaning it reduces the time in between tiers. The other good thing about the boomerang is it can break these shopkeepers. Now, you might be wondering why you want to break them, but it, as you can see on the side, it increases your devil/angel room chance. And you want that because, well, the more devil and angel rooms you get, the better items you can have later down the run. Because those tend to have pretty decent items in them. So it is important to keep in mind that it's all dependent on what you already have unlocked. This is one of those really tough rooms because of the needle enemies, which are these guys. Anything in here? Just a battery, buddy. Alright. Yeah. Every so many pennies put in the machine, you unlock something, and that's why I'm donating now. Whereas on my other playthrough, I have already completed my donation machine, so I don't necessarily have anything I need to, like, donate, or I need to put the money in for, unless I want to increase my devil angel chance, or, well, increase my angel chance, or if I want to get a, oops, sorry, I was trying to focus on the enemies. But the other thing you can do is if you, it's like, I believe it's every donation, there's a very small chance that it can increase your luck stat, and I think it only does that once per, like, run. So an important thing to keep in mind is, you know, how much are you willing to, like, put in to get that chance, but there's also a chance for the machine to jam. A good way to, like, really get the machine to do it, like, pay out the way you want it to, is if you can get your hands on an item called the blue map, which will, not blue map, sorry, I just unlocked it, so it's on my mind. But if you get the glowing hourglass, you can figure out exactly where the jam point is, and then since the glowing hourglass will reset the room, meaning even the money you put in is returned back to you, you actually can use that to figure out the exact number it jams on, and then stop right before that number, and then go on to the next floor to, like, reset the jam chance, and again repeat that process until you're out of shops. Another thing with glowing hourglass is like it gets 3 chances to like reset a floor or reset a room, and then it turns into the normal hourglass, and this is per floor. So as long as you don't use all 3 charges, you can continue using the glowing hourglass as much as you want. Little chubby spelunker boy achieved telekinesis. I just got a lot of achievements there back to back. Again, I don't know the exact way of getting all of them, but I got a large amount of them. Alright, we'll move on to the next floor. But yeah. Alright, so unlock Samson, there we go. Which is the main one I wanted to do, which is get like, it's like 2 floors without taking damage or something like that. Emperor and Chariot. I don't necessarily need to use the Emperor card right now, so I'll hold on to the Chariot. Now, one of those things that I'm going to keep in mind is, after beating Mom's Heart 10 times, which is needed to do various things, one of the things I wanted to do that is, or one of the reasons I want to do that is I want to be able to start using quality of life mods. Nothing that's going to make the game easier, just things that are like external item descriptions that allows me to like see what the items do. And the other item, another quality life mod is improved boss health bars. So for example, the Larry Jr. or Larry Sr. fights, you'll be able to actually see like the individual health bars of like the bosses or their segments and things like that, which makes it, again, it's nothing, you know, over the top, powerful, or is going to make me win the game every time. It's just, hey, quality of life. Which is why I want those mods. Besides that, I really don't. There's not that many mods I have. I have external item descriptions, Repentagon, which is just makes mods kind of like cohesively work better together. And then I have improved boss health bars, and I think there's one more, but I don't quite remember. It again, they were all quality of life mods that I'm just kind of used to having that don't serve any other purpose. Although I'd be tempted to get some, you know, sprite redesign mods and things like that. They're not necessary in any, you know, for any stretch of the imagination, nor are they really quality of life improving. In fact, they would make the game more difficult for me if I didn't have external item descriptions, because I wouldn't know what specific items look like. Man, this is one odd floor layout, right? Because, yeah, it's just, again, I'll be willing to look into some other mods to really, like, dig into, like, kind of get an idea of what I want. Man, it feels like forever since the last time I played early game Isaac that, you know, doesn't have a bunch of like crazy hard enemies or multiple like end paths you can go down. I've been saying on my Twitch channel that I don't necessarily want to go for infinity %, but I also think it'd be fun to like have other content I could put on like the, you know, YouTube channel, or even just other things other than just an Eden streak for the Twitch channel. Which is why it's like, oh, I could start this profile for the YouTube, and then I can work on finishing up my first profile for the Twitch. And on that profile, on the first profile, I can start doing other things besides Eden streaks. maybe do some other, like, more, you know, game-changing mods. Now, both of these items are both really good items, but I much prefer Monstro Lung in this situation. My DPS isn't very strong, so having something that, well, yes, a charge up, but it deals burst damage, and but it does nullify the lead pencil effect, because it's basically the lead pencil, but every shot. Now, one thing I can tell you, that one secret that I learned, is that if you ever come into an item room, and the item room has 8 objects in the room, so 8 of these rocks, 8 mushrooms, you know, 8 pots, anything like that, that means you guarantee both items every time. But sadly, this one only has 4, which means we only get 1. Yeah. Sadly, this does nullify the effects of lead pencil, which is the only downside, realistically, to taking it. I can see what's in my, well, let me go fight the boss first, right? Because this is only depths 1, which means it's not the last floor, that's next floor. Oop, I let go of my charge way too early. Monstro 2, not necessarily a difficult boss, but can be tough if you don't know his, like, patterns. The best thing you could do is try to stay at, like, next to him at all times, because it prevents him from jumping around the room and makes him more likely to fire his laser. And the only reason you want to avoid him jumping around the room is it's harder to hit him, and he spawns these flies every time he jumps, or every second jump. Whereas, you know, if you can guarantee the laser shot, you can get like 1 to 2 hits in on him. Little larva, yeah, I got enough keys and bombs, and I only got 1 floor left. Touch the Bible, but I don't need it. I mean, I could use it to fight, to instantly kill the mom fight, and honestly, I might just take it for just that purpose alone. I don't remember if blowing these guys up for the, like, okay, so you can't blow them up before you unlock the chest and whatnot. Okay. Again, it's been so long that I just kind of don't know the game like that anymore. Because both of my save files, besides this one, are fairly far along in the game. The first one was my save file before Repentance came out. So it's got a lot of, like, the late game stuff unlocked for, you know, Afterbirth Plus and all that. Whereas second save file obviously has already been completed, and it's, you know, strictly my, like, Repentance save file, right? So everything I know hasn't, like, I haven't had to use a lot of this, like, early game knowledge since Repentance came out. One fun thing about Chub, if you're interested in, like, learning some fun ways to, like, defeat early game bosses, is he's weak to bombs, and if you drop a bomb in front of him, he will swallow it. Any variation of the Chub bosses, so we're talking Chad, Chub, and oh, what's the other one? Either way, any of that, like, that style of boss will do that, will fall for that exact, like, ploy every time, where it's like you drop a bomb from him. Now, I have seen one of the champions, and I don't remember exactly which champion or which boss it was, but if you drop the bomb in front of them, they will spit it back out. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually talk about it, but it's one of those things that I've had it happen to me a few times, but I've never been able to, like, experiment and test to prove which one it is. Now, I have unlocked a lot more characters now, so I might be willing to do more runs as other characters just to kind of really experience more like, obviously just have fun and play as different characters more or less is what I'm thinking, right? Because all of these characters are fun and interesting in their own ways, some more than others in my opinion, but hey, not much you can do about that. The reason I'm taking my time is because I know there's not like a lot I can do right now. Super early, and realistically speaking, we're at a point in the game where it doesn't really necessarily matter. I've gotten... Okay, a greed fight isn't ideal, considering my goal was to actually donate into my donation machine, but it's, again, not the end of the world. It's perfectly fine. If I'm lucky on the next floor, I won't have another greed fight, or if I do have another greed fight, hopefully I have an arcade that has a donation machine, because, again, my main goal right now is to actually get my donation machine up as high as possible every run. Whoops. Not how I intended that to go. There's a couple of spots secret room could be, and I'm not really going to be, like, desperately searching for it. Top secret room has a chance of being here, but I doubt it. Oh, it is. Alright. Another key thing to know is that most of the time when a top secret room has an item spawn in it, like a heart drop, it will constantly drop that specific heart. So, for example, if you get the secret room that has black heart drops, any heart that's dropped in that room will always be a black heart drop. Alright, we got some red hearts, or some blood donation machines in there, which, again, as long as this isn't necessarily a greed fight, which I might look for my secret room just to try to, like, because, again, if you get a greed fight in your secret room before you enter the shop, it means you won't have a greed fight in your shop, so I'm going to try and have my secret room first, just to make the, like, hey, there we go. Just to give myself that, like, little bit of extra chance. I also want to find as many tinted rocks as I can, because, again, those are, like, just... like, you just kind of want them, just because you want to get small rock as soon as possible. And I believe it's like after 100 you unlock small rock. I want to get my... the only things I care about this floor is my shop and secret room. I can double my little Loki familiars damage with BFF, but I actually think it's much more important to donate as much as possible, because we want to upgrade our store so we can get more item spawns. I'm surprised it's already up to 50, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Now, since I'm going to kill Mom instantly, I don't need to hold on to all of my red hearts, because I'm not actually going to fight her. So, I think it's better to drop as much red hearts as I can into my blood donation machine. I completely forgot about adrenaline. Oh, IV bag just rips through your health no matter what. For some reason, I was thinking IV bag only use your, like, would work the same way as a blood donation machine, meaning if you had any type of invincibility, you could use it, for free. But, again, not the end of the world. or Wrath. I don't know why I called him a Wraith. But Wrath is, again, not necessarily the hardest mini-boss you can fight, but he is annoying because of the shape. Oftentimes, the layout of the room is pretty much this, right? Where it's hard to dodge his bombs all the time. Consistently, at least. Depending on the number of items I find, or number of red hearts, I'm probably going to end up going back just to, like, use the Ivy bag more. Because, again, it would be nice to have, like, the max amount donated I can for this run. Even if at the end of, like, the day, I, jam the machine and still have money left over, I could use it to do other things like play the beggars or, things like that. So it's not the end of the world, but and if I have enough left over by the end of it, I might even just buy little Loki, or the BFF, so I can buff little Loki. Because he's been a big help this entire run, so it wouldn't hurt to buff him a little bit. Now, I've always been a proponent of, I dislike enemies and bosses that you can only hit from a specific spot. And these enemies are no different. I don't like them. They're not hard to fight, not by a long shot. In fact, they're fairly easy oftentimes. I just dislike the idea that they're invincible everywhere but the specific spot. These guys, these leapers, that like bloody leapers and the bloody fatties, have always been like tough enemies for me, especially like when I was first starting out in the game, because it's hard to predict where they're going when you're new to the game, because, well, they just jump halfway across the room to you. Thankfully, this room isn't hard, especially since, like it's hard trying to dodge those spike blocks unless you have high speed. Like I said, thankfully, these runs aren't going to necessarily be super, super long. I mean, still long considering the way I play the game, but they're not overly long either. Yeah, as long as you try to stay, like, roughly around the center of the room, you should be fine. Honestly, it's just easier just to avoid them. Alright, so we're going to go use the blood donation machine to give it myself, or the Ivy bag, to give myself as much money as possible before going into the mob fight. Because now I'm not going to, get myself down to 1 heart, but getting myself down to 2, I think, is fair enough. I have enough charge on my Bible that I should be fine. Again, even if the machine did jam at that point, it's not the end of the world. So just looking at this room layout, I kind of figured this is where the top secret room was, but you never know with some of these. I wasn't trying to do that, but it's not the end of the world. Good news is I definitely got more money out of this than I was expecting to.
Wheel of Fortune.
I was kind of hoping the machine would drop more money, but again, it's not the end of the world. Alright. Don't think there's any reason to bomb these guys, but oh, I guess the charged ones do have a chance to drop money. I just didn't think they could. There we go. I knew the machine would jam eventually. Not ideal, but hey. kind of hope we can get it up to 75 before jammed, but hey, the fact that it's up to 73 is good. I'm almost 1/10 of the way to the charge I need, or the max.
Isaac was cornered. His mother, fueled with the desire to serve her God, was bearing down on Isaac. I will do as I am told, my lord. I love you above all else, Isaac's mother repeated to herself. This was the end of the line for Isaac. His mother was far too strong for him. But just as he accepted his fate, God intervened, sending an angel down from above to stop his mother's hand. And just like that, it was over.
That is a cutscene I have not seen in a very long time. Also, why the Bible instantly defeats Mother is because even in the cutscene, the Bible falls down, knocks her out, he wins. So, it's a nod to the cutscene itself. With that being said, that's going to be the end of this video. It is a rather short Isaac run, but it was still fun nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. If you had a fun time watching this, or you enjoyed the video at all, again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You don't even have to comment if you don't like it. If you don't like it, you can write whatever you can say. You say, I'm such a bad Isaac player, I took too much damage, this, that, and the other. But, okay. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever. And bye-bye.